it.
Very good evening and welcome to CBC Business Outlook. I'm so glad you could join us. I'm your host, Jimmy Kanasha, and it's always beautiful to know that you're watching us. And if you're watching us online, just know, spread the word. Let them know you're watching us on CBC Television Zambia. That is on Facebook and also on YouTube. Same name, same tag. And it's always a pleasure meeting you and also getting to hear from you. So we'd still like to get to hear your views, your thoughts of a lot of economic issues that are going on out there. Don't forget to send us a message on those platforms as well as our personal inbox. My personal one is Jimmy Kanasha. We should be able to discuss and talk further. But we'll be taking a short break. We'll be back with more information just after this. This is CBC Business Outlook. Now, we get straight to business, and this time we go to the Bank of Zambia and ZDA, or Zambia Development Agency. Now, Zambia's survey response rate for 2019 was actually recorded at 82%, which is 6% less of 88% recorded in 2018. And that's from the Bank of Zambia, who joined hands with the Zambia Development Agency to hold a dissemination workshop of the Foreign Private Investment and Investor Perception Survey results on Wednesday, 4th December 2019, as Dr. Denny Kalalia spoke like this.
This year's survey response rate was 82%, a reduction from 88% we recorded last year. While this can be improved upon, it gives an indication of the strong cooperation we have with various enterprises, and we hope this support will continue going forward. The continued participation of various enterprises and businesses is extremely important as it generates information that is critical for policy decisions. The information we collect is key in assessing developments in the balance of payments, which has important implications for the formulation of sound monetary, fiscal, and trade policies. Distinguished participants, the 2019 survey captured the magnitude, types, sources, and direction of foreign private investment for the year 2018 and the first half of 2019. It also included investor perceptions on the investment climate in Zambia.
Dr. Kalalia says that the net equity inflows in 2018 rose to around 265 million United States dollars, and that's compared to a net inflow of 100 million United States dollars in 2017. Now, the net inflows were attributed to mergers and acquisitions in both mining and the agriculture sectors. Now, the developments in the agriculture sector bodes well for the country's economic diversification agenda. This is CBC Business Outlook. We take a short break. We'll be right back with more in focus. Stay tuned.
Purified water. Enjoy the pure, refreshing taste and stay rehydrated. Aquarite.
Lubanji.
This is CBC Business Outlook. And today in Focus, we're actually looking at Dr. Jonathan Chipili, who's giving a presentation of a quantitative survey findings of the foreign private investments in Zambia at the dissemination workshop of the Foreign Private Investments and Investor Perception Survey results that was hosted by the Bank of Zambia together with the Zambia Development Agency at the government complex. Have a look at this.
For this survey, we have 298 firms targeted, 243 responded, presenting a response rate of 82%. I must mention here that we do conduct these surveys on a quarterly basis. And for 2018, the response rate was much higher, was better than the 2017. And the way we conducted this, again, conforms to international standards defined by the IMF and the OECD. And you note from here that the firms that responded the most were from the manufacturing, wholesale and retail, and manufacturing. But we still remain grateful to the rest of the firms. Again, this just speaks to the number of firms that are sampled from the different sectors. So at the global level, what's going on? What do we get in terms of FDI trends? If you look at 2018, at global level, we've got the green bars. You see a declining trend. What happens to developed economies? They're also receiving less FDI. What's happening to developing economies? This is the black bar. It's a slight increase, broadly stable, but a slight increase. What's happening to Asia? Asia, again, is similar to developing economies. There's a slight increase. How about Africa? Where are we? Some bit of fluctuation, but very, very small relative to the other continents. For this, for 2018, we're looking at $46 billion. Previously, it was $41 billion, so it's a slight increase. And most of the FDI we are not seeing for Africa here went into oil and gas. We've got the case of Uganda, the case of Mozambique. So these are the major recipients of FDI. But what we notice is that the declining trend at global level reflects what's happening in developed economies, particularly the incentives that were given to US firms with the tax reforms after Mr. Trump took over office. So there was a repatriation of accumulated retained earnings. So that accounted for the decline in FDI at the global level. But going forward, the expectation is that global FDI is likely to pick up. Most of these US multinationals are likely to retain their earnings where they are operating. So that will account for an increase in FDI as it is accounted for in this context. Even for Africa, we are still optimistic that what we are seeing here is going to improve as more investments are likely to occur. Most of these multinationals that have invested are likely to retain their earnings. Also, there's also an interest in greenfield investments. So we are optimistic that this declining global trend is going to reverse very soon. And for Africa, we expect improvement over what we've seen recently. But this doesn't come without risks. We see risks that we're all familiar with geopolitical tension that's happening globally, not just confined to the Middle East, now extended to South America, Asia as well. Persistent trade tensions, and also protectionist policies that are emerging. So this is probably what's happening at a global level. It's a declining trend. How do we compare with what's happening at global level in Africa as Zambia? So here again, we focus on stocks and flows of private sector foreign assets and liabilities. It might sound a bit confusing as I move through the slides. Sorry. Because I'll be looking at liabilities, then I look at assets of the private sector, then I look at the flows, and then the stocks. So I just hope that that will not bring confusion as I run through the slides. So starting with the private sector foreign liability inflows. So I'm looking at the liabilities. Did we accumulate, did we receive enough relative to 2017, 2018? The answer is that we received less by almost 4%. So we are looking at almost 1 billion in 2018. And again, this reflects, if you listen carefully to what the governor spoke about, reflects the almost 50% reduction in FDI inflows. So in this year, we are looking at FDI of about just over $560 million compared to over $1 billion in 2017. And the drop in FDI inflows in Zambia last year is explained by losses. In this context, we're calling them retained losses, but this is a technical, but if you don't want to lose that, just call them losses. That's why incurred by the mining sector. And again, this is attributed to operational challenges that some of the mining firms encountered during the year. But despite the drop in FDI, it accounted for the largest share of total inflows into the economy. And it represents about 60% of the total. And as you will note later on, this came through in terms of borrowing and equity. There are also other investments category that also increased during the period to close to $300 million. Again, this reflects loan disbursements. So they still exported to the rest of the world. We are still accumulating these liabilities, which are taking different forms. So the liability inflows were significantly lower, again, in the first half of this year. So they dropped in 2018 into 2017. Come this year, we are still not doing fine, based on the numbers that we have. So far, we are looking at $10 million in terms of liability inflows from the different categories that we have, components rather, compared to $600 million that was received the corresponding period last year. Again, this just reflects debt repayments by the mining, deposit taking, and ICT sectors. So we're exposed to the rest of the world, so at some point we have to pay back. So the drop that we are seeing here in the first half of this year just reflects the repayments that we are making to the rest of the world, to those that we owe. So in terms of stocks now, what I spoke about were flows. So in terms of stocks, with these flows that we received, despite reducing, it is augmenting the stock. So for 2018, the stock went up by just over 7%. So we're sitting on just over $25 billion in private sector foreign liabilities in 2018. Again, the inflows reflect the FDI liabilities, which I spoke about earlier on. And these liabilities, FDI liabilities are around $21.4 billion in 2018. Okay. And in the first half of the year, in terms of stock, the liabilities declined by almost 9%. Again, reflecting the reduction in FDI mainly on account of a drop in retained earnings. So it's the issue of profitability here that is explaining the decline for 2019. In terms of FDI now liability, because it's the largest component, so if we start with that and see how we are doing it in terms of the type. So the type for FDI would be in terms of equity capital, retained earnings, or debt. So it has three components. So what we note is that in terms of FDI liability inflows, affiliated companies' borrowings was the major form of FDI liability inflows in 2018. Equity capital flows also improved following measures and acquisitions in the mining and quarrying as well as agriculture sectors. Here we've got two firms that were involved in the measures and acquisition in 2018 in those two sectors, one mining and one agriculture sector. In the first half of 2019, FDI inflows were just over $400 million, which was broadly in line with what was received around the same time in 2018. But the reduction that we're observing in 2019 is due to the profitability, decline in profitability attributed to retained losses in the mining sector. Again, this is reflecting what's happening in the mining sector. So borrowing from foreign affiliates improved on account of these the losses. For these firms to remain afloat to continue the operations, they had to borrow, and they borrowed from foreign affiliates to keep them going. In terms of FDI liability inflows and stocks by relationship now, direct investors, so which is FDI, direct investors contributed almost 1 billion in form of debt. So this is the form that these direct investors are preferring to invest in these firms. So it's coming from direct investors. There are also, but the fellow enterprises recorded a net outflow because of the debt repayments that I spoke about earlier on. And the share of fellow enterprises in FDI is around 17%. But if you look at the recipients of FDI, which means by sector, what you notice is that for 2018, manufacturing was the major recipient of FDI inflows, although what they received was lower by almost 21%. And this again reflects the performance of the manufacturing sector. They incurred losses to the extent of almost $9 million in 2018. And these inflows that came through to the manufacturing sector took the form of debt and equity. And there are those subsectors that received the inflows. So they were in basic precious and other non-ferrous metals, grain meal products, soft drinks, and malt liquors as the main recipients. So this is where the inflow of the manufacturing sector went, despite recording a decrease. The second largest was deposit-taking institutions, followed by mining, ICT as well. ICT also, if you look at the chart, also benefited from the inflows that came through in 2018. But you note that there were outflows in the construction, real estate, and agriculture sectors. You can see the bars over here, they're negative. But this one is the recipients of FDI. Again, in terms of stocks by sector, despite the mining sector receiving less, it still accounts for the largest stock of FDI. You can see from the bars here. Okay, 2017, 2018 still tops the list. So most of the FDI that was received in this country has gone into the mining sector. It's followed by manufacturing, real estate. There's a lot of construction that's going on. There's a bit going into the wholesale and retail, also the financial sector. Okay, so the takeaway is that the largest FDI is concentrated in, or is in the mining sector. So which country is accounting for most of this FDI that we have reported, particularly for 2018? Here we report that it's Canada, which is the major source of FDI liability inflows, accounting for just over $300 million. Then we have the UK, Netherlands, and India. So these are the flows for 2018. But in terms of stock, to put everything together, whereas most of this FDI liability comes from, we are saying against Canada. Remember, it's mining, Canada linked to mining. So most of the FDI has come from Canada. Switzerland, second, we've got China, then the UK, British Virgin Islands, and South Africa. So the bulk of it, of FDI that we received, has come from Canada and Switzerland. Again, you can link that to the mining sector because that's where the largest concentration is. If you look at other forms of inflows, started with FDI because it's the largest. There are also other components of investment inflows into the economy. So this also for 2018 increased close to $300 million. Okay, in the previous year there was because of this increase, because of loan disbursements that we are reporting for 2018. The deposit taking in the financial sector were the major recipients of other investments, which will take the form of loans, other equity which is not part of direct investment, payables, receivables, and so forth. ICT, electricity, wholesale, and retail were also recipients of these other forms of investment flows into the economy. But as far as other forms of investment are concerned, manufacturing, mining, recorded outflows. Again, this relates to their performance. We are reporting that these reported had lost. So this is reflecting the outflows. So the stock of other investments was $3.4 billion in 2018. This was higher compared to 2017 by almost 11%. So if you now put these other flows in terms of stocks by sector, again, mining tops the list. So FDI, the bulk of FDI is going to mining. Even other forms of flows, or capital flows into the economy are still going to the mining sector. Followed by electricity, financial sector, ICT also stands out. Okay? Probably this is explained why ICT's account is one of the key drivers of growth. If you look at the 2018 outcome, it's one of the key drivers of growth. So it's benefiting from the flows that are coming from the rest of the world. So where is this other investment or flows coming from? In the first instance, for FDI, we said it was Canada, Switzerland. But for other forms of investment, other than FDI, so far, before I get to derivatives, it's China. So China tops the list. It's followed by Sweden, the Netherlands. There's a bit from Africa as well, Kenya. So putting in a bit into our account. Okay, they brought you, this is the case. In terms of stock, again, those are the flows for last year, but in terms of stock, the packing doesn't change much in the sense that China still is the pack. But here we see the United Kingdom coming second. South Africa, which I mentioned earlier, still comes on the top list. I think Kenya here now falls under the rest of the world. It quite appears diverse as much as last year, both of it from these other forms of investment. So these flows that have come through FDI, other investments, we are borrowed. We are still exposed to the rest of the world. So where do we stand in terms of the stock? Our total exposure to the rest of the world, the private sector total exposure to the rest of the world. Last year, it increased by almost 10%. So they are now sitting on a stock of $14 billion. Taking the form of loan disbursements, as well as currency and deposits. So that's the exposure of the private sector, Zambian private sector to the rest of the world. Right now, based on the preliminary findings, it's about $14 billion. And the bulk of this is long term. That's the consolation. It's not debt that is due immediately. Almost 94% of that debt of $14 billion is long term. So they're here to stay. They're not pulling out immediately. So only about $900 million is short term. And most of this exposure, 14 billion, has come from foreign affiliates. So these are related companies. So we are looking at almost 11 billion or 14 billion dollars coming from foreign affiliates. So that's a small proportion in relative terms that has come from unrelated parties. Again, in terms of sector, the picture does not change. It's the mining sector where this debt is concentrated. Because it's long term, they invest long, so it explains why this is the case. Then electricity manufacturing follow that order, so the pattern doesn't change. Again, in terms of where this exposure has come from, because remember it's mining, it's Canada, sorry, it's Switzerland. Other investments have come from China, China comes in now. So if you put everything together, so in aggregate, you put FDI, other investments, so the largest exposure of the private sector Zambia is to Switzerland, followed by China, United Kingdom, British Virgin Islands, and South Africa. So I think these results are not surprising. It's consistent with what we are hoping observing.
Well, that's our hat for you on Business Outlook. Be sure to join us tomorrow, same time, same place. I'm Jimmy Kanasha, and up next is CBC News Tonight.